right, Coach, opening statement on this past week for the Ladyjacks.
Two really good wins versus two teams that have accomplished a lot in our league, in Utah Tech and Southern Utah. Obviously, just going back to last Saturday, Southern Utah being the defending conference champions. Again, coming in with that championship DNA, I felt like we really started that game off well and were able to carry that energy throughout that entire game. That was a full team effort, and saw the return of Mel Finau in that game. So, again, she really came back and gave us a lot of juice throughout the week. And then that Thursday we played Utah Tech, and again, that was a game with ebbs and flows in it. But again, it was another great start for our team and allowed us to find our rhythm and really get going. So proud of our team's effort in those two wins, and hopefully we can keep that momentum.
Big stable performances from Zoe Nelson. We've mentioned about the emergence and her coming out, but it's been more on a consistent basis now. Is this somewhat of an expectation with what we've seen from Zoe, or do you think there's still room to grow?
I definitely think there's still room to grow. Obviously, when you show us something, we want to see it more consistently. And we've talked about that with Zoe, just being a little bit more consistent on a day in and day out basis of her approach, just being an aggressive mindset. Because when she's aggressive, it could be a double-double, it could be, a monster rebound night. It's just her affecting the game comes from her aggression level. So she's doing a good job of that, and we hope that continues.
Before we break down the first opponent for your little road stretch, how pivotal is it? I mean, you guys are going to be on the road for a little bit longer, and then I think in a previous presser that we just had, it's mentioned like we're kind of in the bulk of the conference season. How big is it for you to get on a strong point heading on this road trip?
Well, yeah, I mean, you always want to start your road swing on a good foot and get going. So we just talked about having the right approach in practice, and that'll carry over to games. So still the same approach day in and day out, just knowing that we're going on the road with it.
First game against Seattle, I mean, very different look or a different perception for kind of where they were last year. Last year they caught momentum near the end of the season. Break down what you think you can see from Seattle.
Again, not probably won as many games as they would like to, but again, they're in a lot of these games. They do pressure a lot and throw a lot of different wrinkles in at you on the defensive end. They have some good post play that we definitely need to be dialed in and ready for. So again, they do present some challenges for us, so that we need to make sure that we're ready to go.
And right now, currently sitting 5-1 with a conference record. I mean, you guys are battling it out with overall placing when it comes to California Baptist and CBU. At this point in the year, you have you're on a micro focus, but then you maybe even a broader focus on where you guys may be ending up when it comes to March and playoff play. That's starting to come with. But how big is these battles going to be when it comes to not overlooking the game that you have, but then we won't be able to talk to you when you go on a 2-game stretch where you have two of the conference leaders back to back?
Well, again, we talk about having the same approach for every single game. And so if you have the same approach for every single game and make sure that you're just dialed in, what you said, what you term as the big ones, your natural adrenaline will get going and things like that. But we've got to make sure that we're dialed in because, again, winning in this league on the road versus any opponent is tough. So we're just working on the day that we have, and then, next day we'll try and build upon that. So
looking forward to the fish market?
Absolutely looking forward to the fish market. Hopefully I can catch one. But, if I don't, just keep on heading on.
It may be a little bit warmer in Seattle. Well, enjoy the road trip, and we'll talk to you when
That's crazy to say that it'll be warmer in Seattle than it is in Texas. But, again, we'll enjoy this little bit of snow that we got. So appreciate you. Axel.